Is it a good idea to take a brand new beginner motorcycle on an immediate road trip? Probably not, and I'll explain why. Hang out with me for a few minutes and let's get into it. What's up everyone? It's Alex. Today's video comes from a very specific viewer comment. This comment came from a viewer named Jacko, and Jacko said this: I'm 100% noob looking at a bike and I think it would definitely be a TU250, good choice. But if I get one from out of state, I'd like to road trip it back, probably at most a 500-mile trip depending on where I can find one. Do you think that's reasonable or safe for a beginner with this bike? And also, I really appreciate your videos. I feel like I learned a lot from the comments and appreciate how responsive you are. First off, Jacko, thank you. And I haven't been that responsive the last couple of weeks because I was away, but we're getting back to it. All of you guys in the comments that answer each other and help out with questions, thank you so much. That's the whole idea, the discussion of the community, not just me talking into a void. That's the whole point. So to get to what Jacko is asking, basically he's asking if it's a good idea to buy a brand new TU250 or a brand new, small displacement kind of motorcycle like that and immediately ride it 400, 500, whatever, immediately ride it a few hundred miles home as kind of a mini road trip right after buying it. So as a general rule, that's a bad idea for several reasons, and I'll tell you why. Now, caveat to this, if that's your only way to get a motorcycle and it's just what you want to do, we're all adults here, that is an adult decision that you can make on your own. But there are several reasons why I personally think that's a really, really bad idea, and I think it would be much better to rent a small trailer or get someone to help you or find a way to haul the motorcycle home and start riding it there first. Reason number one, the vast majority of motorcycles have a brand new break-in period on them of usually around 600 miles. It's going to be somewhere between 500 and 1,000 miles, but generally it's going to be around 600 miles for most motorcycles. During that break-in period, the manufacturer recommends that you don't take the engine over a certain RPM range, at least for very long. And they also recommend that you vary your RPMs a lot and that you shift a lot so that all of the pieces of your engine, drivetrain, transmission, all of it can get broken in appropriately for the first few hundred miles. Usually what I recommend with that is, a lot of times the manufacturer will say, well, don't take your engine over 3,500 RPMs. I think exceeding the RPM range from time to time is perfectly fine. I think the biggest stuff though is to vary your speed and to shift a lot, because those things are going to break in your engine at different RPM ranges and break in your transmission through all gears, so everything gets broken in and worn in nice and properly, basically, from my perspective anyway. I don't necessarily pay as much attention to specifically the RPMs, but I try to vary my speed a lot and shift a lot. So when I first buy a motorcycle, I do a lot of riding in the city and on twistier back roads, so I know I'm going to have to vary my speed a lot and shift a lot. I tend to not get out on the open highway or the interstate and ride 200 miles in a straight line, because in doing so, you're inevitably going to spend a lot of that time at about the same speed just cruising, which is fine once a motorcycle is broken in, but I don't think, and manufacturers seem to not think, that it's a very good idea when it's brand new. So the big reason number one why I would not recommend doing that is because during your break-in period, it's probably not going to be very good for your motorcycle to immediately take a 500-mile trip at highway speeds without varying speed much and without shifting much, because then you're basically doing your entire break-in at one speed and in probably one gear, or mostly one gear, for the majority of that time. The second big thing is, this is a brand new bike that's brand new to you. And whether you're a beginner or not, beginner, experienced, I don't care. When you have a brand new motorcycle that's brand new to you, you don't know that motorcycle inside and out well enough yet, know the handling well enough, know the handling characteristics, power, know everything about it well enough to be able to react as fast in bad traffic situations, etc. Even if you're experienced, when you get a brand new motorcycle, you need to spend a little bit of time learning that motorcycle and getting used to how that motorcycle particularly reacts to situations before you're going to be as safe riding it as you would be if you already knew the motorcycle. So being brand new to a motorcycle and being a brand new rider all at the same time, I think you need to give yourself some time riding it locally in your area where you're familiar with everything, that you're not necessarily going to be experiencing the dangers of 500 miles of highway interstate riding in America, which can be sketchy as crap sometimes. So, and my last big point kind of ties into that, and that's, you're a brand new rider with a brand new motorcycle and you've said you're a beginner. Your first ride on your new motorcycle, being a 500-mile ride, is going to give you a lot of opportunity for something to go wrong or for a situation to arise that would cause an unfortunate accident and could ruin your taste for motorcycling moving forward just because of one bad incident. Having that long of a ride for your first ride on your brand new motorcycle is going to give so much opportunity for something to go wrong, and is a really, really big risk to take, I think. I would really, really recommend, for all the reasons that I've said, I would recommend again finding some way to get the motorcycle hauled back home for you. Rent a trailer. You can rent motorcycle trailers from U-Haul. Get a friend to help you. Get a pickup truck and a ramp. Find a way to get that motorcycle home so you can ride it in your area, on your streets, where you are familiar, where you are comfortable, and you can get used to your new motorcycle in a little bit safer of an environment, so you can learn it and so that you can enjoy your motorcycle for years and years and years, and so you can get addicted to this awful disease called motorcycling that the rest of us are so hooked on anyway. Those are my thoughts on that. Again, like I said, at the end of the day, this is a decision everyone has to make for themselves. I have known plenty of people that go out of state, buy a brand new motorcycle, and road trip it home 1,000 miles. That is fine. It does happen. With bigger bikes, it's a little bit easier. With smaller bikes, I really, really don't recommend it. I really think you need to break it in before you do that to a smaller bike. But everyone has their own opinion. Everyone can make their own decisions. These are just my thoughts on the topic. Everyone else, let us know what you think in the comments below. Would you buy a brand spanking new motorcycle and ride it hundreds of miles home? Would you always trailer it home? Especially knowing that it's a beginner, would you recommend that for a beginner? I can't imagine most of you would recommend that a beginner take a 500-mile ride on their brand new motorcycle. But that's it for today, guys. As always, have a great day. Ride safe. I'm Alex. Peace.